What's up, folks? Damien here. I'm just riding back from Wilsonville. I got past all the highway and crazy loud traffic. I'm about to enter a park, so that's nice, except for this car should not be on this road. I guess there are cars here. Yeah, it's a really nice day. I'm going about 18 miles now, 17 miles. It was 23, so I've already gone 5. But there's a lot of highway. I mean, not on the highway, but I was next to the highway. Loud noises. No loud noises. Yeah, so I'm probably out of Wilsonville. Probably closer to Tualatin at the moment. Wilsonville is kind of the most southern town outside of Portland that's still kind of connected to everything. And then you get to Salem, which is kind of a ways away. Nice pretty river. I have my camera settings are 1080p, 24 frames per second. Almost missed my tire again. Did that last night too. That's funny. But yeah, so I just decided to record my ride. This is a long ride, and I wanted to kind of do an update because people have been wondering where I am. Where's Damien at? Well, that's sort of a long story, which is suited to a long bike ride. No, it's not really that. It's a super long story, but I'm not going to get into all of it. Ding ding. Oh crap. It's right there. Oh, thanks. So, first question people keep asking is where's the bike reveal? The answer to that is it's coming, but I wanted to actually complete my bike before I did the bike reveal. And even though I've gone 1,000 miles on my bike, I have a couple little things to add. And I don't know, I feel like the first part of my channel was me developing my e-bike over time. This time I wanted to actually do a reveal where it's complete. Taking all of the experience that I gathered and taking advantage of new technology and, you know, the fact that people helped me afford this, which is nice. So I have a couple tiny little things that are more just comfort things than anything else, but for the amount of I had to make a sacrifice by going with this bike, but I think I figured out a way to make it manageable. Yeah, so I want to complete the bike. You know, I think a lot of people on YouTube that build bikes or testing bikes, I mean, it's just a racket at this point. It's like, ooh, I built a bike, you know? And like with mid-drive bikes, they're all the same. It's all the same two motors and just different bikes. I mean, it's all the same computers and controllers. It's all the same thing. And you do get people that have, you know, doing creative things with them, but I think like the hub motor bike, you do have to put a lot of thought into it because it doesn't just piece together as easily as some other things. So I wanted to, you know, I want to go through my choices, and I'll talk a little bit about those on this ride too, because I can talk about those things generally without explaining my bike. It will explain why I chose certain things. So that's the answer to the first question. Where is it at? It's coming. And second question is, you know, that I get recently is, where have I been? And why, you know, where have I gone? Why am I not posting videos? The answer to that question is the more complicated one, and the short of it is basically that I just moved to a new place this week, actually. I even had time to unpack fully yet. I've only slept there 3 nights now. So I've just been on the go. And before that, so basically like moving out of my house was not my choice. And also no fault of my own. I didn't do anything wrong, or it's just that the house is being reappropriated by the owner. And basically the last 3 months, I've been trying to fill the house with other people as well as myself. And that was just way harder than I thought it was going to be. And I kept having people back out. I kept having people change their minds. I kept having, you know, just taking hundreds of emails, meeting people and interviews, just tons and tons and tons of work, hundreds of hours of work for absolutely nothing. To have it all, I was basically on in like an ultimatum. I had to fill the house by May 1st. Yeah, it's just a really crappy situation, to be honest. I really enjoyed my house. I'm gonna miss this Not My Cat that I've been spending every single morning and night with for the last couple years. So that's just, it is what it is. I don't, you know, no harm, no foul, but it was a lot of waste of my time, unfortunately, for nothing. And plus just the stress of having sort of a time limit on it. And so I've just been really, really, really stressed for the last few months. Like 15 out of 10 stressed. Because I was working all the time too, so I'm constantly working and I'm spending all my free time trying to fill my house and just dealing with people and just all of it. And then, of course, I had to immediately switch gears into finding a new place and then dealing with that stress. But I made my choice and I like the house I move into. And so I'm not living up in North Portland anymore. Now I'm actually living in pretty close in Southeast, which is a section of town that I haven't lived in before, so that's cool. It's kind of more of like, I don't know, hippie-ish grunge community. A little bit louder, you know, and it's kind of a trade-off. But at least I'm not going to have to listen to lawnmowers and leaf blowers every single day for the rest of the time, which is great. Now I just have to hear a little bit of traffic, which isn't too bad, and that's only once in a while, you know? So that's what you get. It's a trade-off for living close into the city, right? And I like it. Lots of benefits. So hopefully I'll be unpacked in the next couple days. Yeah, so that's that. Start doing some live streams as well, and I'm able to stream at really, really high quality because I've got fiber internet at my new place, so that's going to be interesting. But anyway, so that's what's happened in the last few months. That's why I kind of disappeared. I was just under way too much stress, had way too much going on, way too much up in the air. And I didn't feel inspired to make any new content. Plus, you know, I've been still riding my bike and putting miles on it, making little adjustments here and there, and you know, getting to know it, because I really liked my old bike a lot. I loved my old bike. Thought it was perfect, and it was perfect in its own way, but you know, this bike is completely different. And yeah, so it's a different beast. So, and it's a different, it was purpose built, whereas my Trek 820 was just kind of built over time to be what it was. And this, I had in mind what I wanted to do with it. So all my choices I made on this bike were made on purpose. Very start. So yeah, that's been the last few months, folks. I'm finally in a new spot. Feeling really good. Normally a move would not nearly stress me out as much as this one had because of just all the other junk wrapped up in it. Such a pain in the butt. I don't like not knowing. I also don't like working my ass off for nothing. And for no other reason than I just wanted to stay living there. I wasn't getting anything out of it other than being able to live in the place that I had been for almost 6 years. Never paid, or always paid rent, always paid utilities. It's just stupid. Such a stupid situation. But like I said, it is what it is. Honestly not a fan of suburbia. Suburbia drives me absolutely crazy. I never ever come to this part of town unless I'm working. Oh man. It's too much traffic, too much of all the same thing. Something going on there. I'm really excited for the summer now. I feel inspired. I don't feel stressed out anymore. I'm getting a lot of work, which is great. Hopefully I'll have a second battery here soon. I do think I am going to prioritize the things that I'm buying in the next couple days. Just because that's going to complete the whole like commuter. My bike will be officially done as a commuter bike. And then I just finished, or I just mostly finished building or rebuilding my friend Laura's e-bike. I built her a cruiser bike a long time ago, and then her battery died, so I'm repurposing that into a mountain bike, all the kit. And then she's going to pick up both bikes and take them out to the coast where she lives. And she works as a ranger at one of the state parks out there and wanted to commute by e-bike. So I'm building her one, and then we're gonna go do a commute together. I'm gonna take the shuttle bus out there and then ride to her place and just make sure her first couple of like commute there and back goes well. So that'll be cool. That'll be in probably the next couple weeks. So that'll be like a little mini bike tour, except for I'm only commuting. It's actually going to be like kind of a tour to go commute, but and yeah, and then once I get my second battery, my first trip is going to be up into Gifford Pinchot. And just I want to go explore that forest a little more. So that'll be probably what I'll do this year, and then big plans for commuting after that. Or big plans for touring after that, sorry. All right, so now we're coming into Tigard. We're already in Tigard. So I went from Wilsonville through Tualatin, and now Tigard. And then just keep heading north until I get back into the city. But it's a nice little ride, and like I said, I wanted to do an update, and I know like people like my ride videos, and I wanted to just let everybody know that I'm still alive and still kind of tinkering with my e-bike, but I am riding it every day. So it's going well. It's going very well. Very, very happy with it. And yeah, I kind of wanted, my 10,000 mile update was pretty close. Like I was able to show all the things, like, personalized things, choices I made. And even from there, I made a bunch of different choices, and then I started bike touring, and, so with all that knowledge, I want to show you basically a finished version of this as a commuter bike, right? So that someone can just go, yep, all of those things work. If I wanted to build a commuter, you could choose all of the same things and you'd be totally happy with it. So, and then I'll do a touring version, which is basically just adding the second battery and rack system. This has my old back rack on there, but I was kind of wearing through the bar, so I ended up, let's see, what's that? Yeah, I'll go this way. Yeah, and I'll go through like all my touring gear, my e-bike touring gear, because that's going to change a little bit too. So I'll do that as like a separate update. But yeah, the two things I'm getting this week, I don't want to mention them. I just want to put them on my bike and then make sure they're going to work. Make sure that I like them. I know one's already going to work because I already had it before. And it's supplemented by another thing that's kind of the same purpose, but I was torn between two options, and then I found this, and I think for what I'm trying to do, it's going to be the better option, and it's less intrusive to my bike, which is good. I don't have to make a sacrifice that I was hoping to not have to make. So, there's always a sacrifice when you make choices, or a trade-off. Maybe not a sacrifice, but a trade-off. So yeah, this is probably a good time to kind of talk about some of the things that I got and why. So I'm using a clutchless geared hub motor. So it's a GMAC. So Grin Technologies worked with Mac and kind of came up with this concept. So the difference between this and a normal geared motor is that it's clutchless. So I'm able to have regen, regen braking. So, and it's really, really strong regen braking. Really strong. Like I almost never use my brakes anymore. So a lot of people that have mid-drive bikes don't have regenerative braking, so they don't even know what that means. And so I will explain what that means here when I come up to a hill, so you can understand. And you should be able to see my handlebars. So and I chose the 10 turn because, or so, excuse me, sorry, 8 turn winding, because it's geared for more higher speed, less torque, but it has about the same amount of torque as my direct drive motor did. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, good. And then I've got a torque sensing bottom bracket, and it's a different one than I had before. So I had the Sempu, and that one died after a while, but I didn't really like it anyway. So this time I'm using an E-Rider, and it's not perfect, but it works a lot better. It's definitely more natural feeling and more useful to me for sure. Because unlike mid-drive with like a cadence sensor or whatever, having to shift using your drivetrain, this bike is it's basically a multiplier of human power. So right now I'm at 8 times human power. I can bump it down to, now I'm at 4 times human power. And the way I use that is basically, my kind of go-to is like about 6. That's kind of my normal power range. I like to stay between 20 and 25 miles an hour normally. Hey, saw that guy yesterday too, at the same time, in the same exact spot. That's so weird. Trippy. So I'll normally pop down into gear. So I use the power, I kind of leave it where I have it usually, and then I just dial the gears up and down to maintain whatever cadence works with that. And if I want to push harder, I can, or if I want to just kind of glide up the road or up the hill, then I'll just, gear down basically. That's kind of where I normally have it. And if I want to go fast, I can bump it up to 8 times, or I can just use my throttle, right? And if I wasn't using a torque sensing bottom bracket, then I would be using auto cruise, which is a feature of my computer, which allows me to hold down the throttle for 2 seconds, and then wherever the position of the throttle is, then it'll just hold that position, which is nice if you're just using a thumb throttle, because your thumb can get really tired really quickly. Car is like tuned so improperly. It smells terrible. Okay. So this is where I'm gonna deviate from Google, because the way it has me go is kind of cool. It takes me along the West Side Esplanade, but it's not as fun. It'll take me a lot longer too, actually, to be honest. So I'm gonna go my own way. Oh crap, did I already pass it? No, I didn't. Yeah, I haven't been on this road for a while. It's been years. A couple years, few years. Man, I can't wait to be out of suburbia. Holy cow. It's so annoying. Okay, I gotta remember how to get 35th. Yeah, it's over here. Or, I guess I could go that way, couldn't I? I'm gonna go this way though. Since I got the red light behind me. Yeah, so this is the old way from the place I worked in Tigard. This is my way home every day. This is how I accumulated 30,000 miles so fast. I mean, now I'm close to, I'm way over 35,000 now. Well over. So here's an example of, see, I'm pulling on my brakes, but I'm actually not touching my brake pads at all. Brake rotors. So yeah, basically, like if I'm going downhill, I can just slightly pull on my brakes, and you can see the negative number up here, right? So yeah, it's negative 600 watts. Yeah. And also, while I'm holding the brakes, I can modulate that even more with my throttle. See, I can come to a complete stop on a hill, and I never even touched my brake pads or brake rotors. Pretty sweet. So that's super important. Also, by the way, you might notice that the temperature is like really, really high on here. I am 100% convinced that the temperature sensor is some setting is wrong, because that's not right. I've like gotten the motor up to 100 degrees Celsius, and I've felt the motor, and it like barely felt warm. So I think a setting is wrong. I might have the type of thermal resistor set on. Yeah, so on this hill I could have dialed the power up and stayed in a higher gear, but this is totally fine. And so instead I'm bringing my gearing down to where my pedaling is more effective, like in the right cadence, you know? So I'm still just kind of chilling, not really putting any effort in. I mean, I guess I am a little bit. And you may have noticed I use a friction shifter. And I've got 1134 cassette in the back. And even though I've got a three-speed front derailleur shifter, I'm only using two in the front. I'm using a 48 and a 42 right now. I might try to go 36 if I can get away with it, but we'll see. I don't really need it, but I think a 42 might be just a little too tall for my lower gear. And I'm pretty much always in the 48 tooth. All right, I'm gonna do something I also wouldn't normally do, but I'm so sick of waiting for lights. Dog and peeps. All right, go away. All right. So So this is a Terwilliger Pass, and if you've watched my videos for a long time, you would have seen me riding on this quite a bit. But anyway, so I use a friction shifter because I like, it works a lot easier, and I can switch gears a lot faster. I could go even faster if I shift, or I went up to 8 times human power, but pretty solid where I'm at. Speed limit is 25 anyway, right? So yeah, people always ask what the top speed of my bike is. This one, top speed is 34.2 on the flats. But that's a 52 volt battery, and the controller is limited to 35 amps, or sorry, 34 amps. So it could go a little faster if I bumped it up, but and obviously another question is, what's the range of your battery? That's the only question that does not make sense. There are a million variables as to how far your battery goes. How fast you go, what the terrain is like, if you can counter hills, if you have a headwind, if you have a tailwind, how much do you weigh, what kind of tires do you have, what temperature is it outside. But we'll be able to take a look at my watt hours per mile, and that's over the course of the day. So it'll be a total of 2 full trips back and forth. Or no, sorry, it'll be 1 trip back and forth. I did reset it today. This morning before. Oh no, I think I reset it before I left. Yeah, I did. I reset it before I started this trip, so it'll just be the ride that's being recorded. My guess is, based on my speed and how much I'm using, I'm gonna say 20 or 21, that's my guess. 21 watt hours per mile. My touring average is about 14.6. yeah, I've made little changes here and there. Just been kind of getting used to this bike, getting comfortable with it. And I've taken it on a lot of bumpy roads. I've hit potholes. I've done trails a little bit. It's sturdy. I totally trust it now. Be a pretty sunset. Nice day today. Nice day. All right, coming into downtown now. Here in a minute. So weird, like when I first started e-biking, nobody had e-bikes. I was one of like very few people. And now I would say like 1 out of 5 at least, probably more, are on e-bikes. I feel like a old grandpa. Excuse me. There's like so many things flying around in the air since it's springtime. Let's see here. Okay, how do I want to get down to... They finish this road. Or bike lane. They've got a bike lane up here that they've been working on forever and ever. Yeah, this thing is like really zippy, really responsive. Very easy to maneuver. I like it. Very light too, so my battery, since I only have one, it's so much lighter than my other battery. It's so much nicer just to be able to take it out and take it off and charge it, which I wasn't able to do very easily with my other one. I didn't like having to unzip the bag all the time, and I even had the zipper go out on me once, and that's no fun. Now it's just locked to the bike, and I just take the key and I unlock it, and that's it. Very simple. And then my motor that I was talking about, being that it's a geared motor, it's actually a lot smaller and a lot lighter. It's about half the weight as my other one. Yay, I think they finally got this bike lane done. Oh my God. Praise the Lord. It's only been like 6 months. She just got in the turn lane. This ride this morning, I left for work at like 5 in the morning, 5:30, 5:15, something like that. You know, there was hardly anybody out. And yesterday I left at 4:30, so there was absolutely nobody out. It's nice and peaceful. The sun came up. I wish I would have recorded that ride, to be honest, but hopefully you're enjoying this one. So yeah, this is brand new. This was not here. This used to be a single sidewalk, and it was kind of a pain to take. But yeah, so now I live in the city. If I was still living in North Portland, I would have almost 7 miles to go. But now I've only got like 1.5 miles to go. Pretty nice. I live in a interesting part of town. The suburbs have like so many really nice bike lanes, and they make it just friendly to look at. Easy ways to get around. It's way easier to get around suburbia than it is the city, just because of all the traffic and stuff, but nobody ever rides bikes out there. I'm like one of, maybe 20 people that are riding their bikes. It's a city built on driving. They call stroads everywhere. Streets, roads combined. Obstacles. Obstacles.
You guys want to stop at any time?
So we're basically on my street right now, which is kind of cool. People ask me why I don't ding my bell when I pass, and I promise I do, right? But not all the time, because I don't do it unnecessarily, right? I'm watching, I'm making sure they don't turn around. I don't think you realize that a lot of times when you ding your bell, the first thing that someone does is they turn around and look at you, right? Now, if you imagine the people that we just passed, they're holding boating oars, right? There's like a 50% chance that I would ding my bell, the person would turn around, and then I'd get smacked in the bike with a boating oar and cause an accident. So I do think about those things, I promise. I try to be very mindful of passing people, but I don't always ding because sometimes you're scaring people for no reason. Ding consciously is what I'm saying. Don't just ding because you think you're supposed to. Ring-a-ding-ding, my folks. All right, so now we're on Hawthorne. This is a super trendy road. And I don't like riding on Hawthorne, but I do for a while anyway. It's nice and paved well. I'm not really that familiar with Southeast, so I'm kind of getting used to the ways I want to go to and from my house. Like, I was following Google, and this one particular road it was having me go on was just so rough. It was like a shared car road. Oh man, just so rough, not enjoyable at all. So I found a different road, and it's a lot better. This is 11. To do. I think I'm gonna do this road. Oh, you know what? I totally went the wrong way. I totally went the wrong direction. See? I don't know Southeast at all, folks. When you see the things that I buy, you'll understand why now. After seeing some of the roads, I should give you a hint of things I'm getting. One might surprise you though. And here's basically my street. Belmont. But yeah, I just gotta go up this hill kinda, and that's basically where I live now, so that's how close I am to downtown now. So I'll leave you here. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your support. Thanks for coming along. Promise I'm still here and more inspired and energized and calm than I have been in a long time. Long time. So This is a really cool area, and I'm really excited to be in this part of town now. I've been thinking about moving to Southeast for a while, and I found the place I did, and the people I'm living with are really awesome. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good summer. Really stoked about it. This is totally more my vibe. North Portland is getting a little weird. Not weird in a good way. Not weird in the Portland way, but weird in the just aggro, a lot of street racing, people making noise, neighbors getting into fights with each other. Just not good. So people are way more chill out here. And that's kind of my vibe these days. Nice and chill. So yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. Stay tuned, and I hope your e-bike build, or your e-bike rides, or your e-bike plans, e-bike tours are going well, and I will catch you in the next video.